Good morning. Welcome back up on the mountain today. It's time to hook up our Geo Pro G19FD and do a little bit of camping this weekend. We need to hook up our Grand Cherokee Trailhawk, move it over here, get us all hooked up, and tell Mrs. P, let's go. I removed my storage that I added here to the stock bike rack mount. It was getting in the way of the back of the truck when we're backing up, and then I moved it around here in the back. So yeah, it can be mounted on the front or the back. I have two little bins, a little bit of camp wood. I think we're ready to go camping. Perfect. All right, these chains, we're just going to cross-link them here. Got them nice and twisted so they don't hang on the ground too far. We are using our Curt brake controller. It's the Curt Echo brake controller. And pretty much we just plug our 7-way into this thing. All right. And when the little light flashes green, it'll go steady. Perfect. And now we should have brakes. All right, so we're all hooked up. We have our 7-pin hooked into our brake controller, our chains hooked to the back of the truck. Make sure our hitch pin is in. Make sure our hitch pin here is in. And our electric tongue hoist is up. Now, it's also good to do a good walk around the camper, make sure everything's ready to travel. We are going to take this block of wood with us in case we have to jack up the tongue. Going along the edge, we just want to make sure all the compartments are closed. Make sure we have air in the tires. Pick up our temporary chocks. I think we'll take those with us. Make sure our bins on the back are all secure-ish. Make sure the awning is in. The stands, got to make sure all those are all the way up. Doors closed. Make sure our grab bar is locked back. Make sure the door here is closed. Make sure this is closed, that's closed. You know, just make sure everything's ready to go. Now I went ahead and put all of these extra blocks right here in the back of the truck. Even though I have leveling blocks and other stuff for the camper, you never know what you're getting into. Our Jeep Grand Cherokee Trailhawk has air suspension, so even though we have about 500 pounds of tongue weight, the vehicle is nice and level. I did change out our hitch with one that was slightly lower. I didn't like the angle of the other one. I had one that was straight out for 10,000 pounds, but it caused the trailer to be slightly inclined when we're going down the road. This one should work a little bit better. As far as I can tell, we're all hooked up, ready to go. We just need Mrs. P and the cat. Maybe lunch. We don't know. All right, we are all loaded up, ready to go. All right, we made it to our campsite. This is site number 44 at Tallulah Gorge Campground. It's not the best site I've ever been in. Let me show you. So it has a pull-through area here that is paved, and there's a little back off here that looks like it's gravel. So you could pack back a little camper here. You have your electric and water on this side, but then you're kind of overlooking the street back here, and your fire pit, barbecue grill, and picnic table are over on this side. Now what I think happened is this is the last site on this row of pull-through sites where you get larger, you know, tiffins and other type of campers. So whoever did the electric and water put it on this side, but all the other stuff, your fire ring and campsite, should have been on this side, but then you'd be looking right at the side of this other site. It's just kind of weird. Luckily, we have a 50 amp converter. I have an extra 10-foot cord, and we just run our electricity around the back, and everything works just fine. Now there's more bad stuff about this site 44. We were able to back our trailer and SUV here in the driveway, and you can see we had to jack the front end way up. It's probably 20 inches above the tongue of the Jeep. We have our front suspender legs at full length. I actually had to use some rocks here to even get our ladder to reach. So this is a pretty unlevel site. It's also a little bit unlevel side to side. We had to run about halfway up on our chalk here. We could have went a little bit more if we wanted to, but it's good enough. We also pulled the camper as far as we could over this way, almost up against this tree, but since we don't have any slide outs or anything, it's just fine. So this is the only way I could put this in here to still get access to the picnic table, have a spot for our chairs, use the fire ring. Yeah, I think we're gonna have a good couple days here. Now, as far as I can tell, this entire Tallulah Gorge RV park or Tallulah Gorge campsite doesn't have septic. You pretty much use the pump out on the way out of the park. So I don't really see a reason to hook up the water since I do have a full water tank. There is water over here, but I don't think my water hose is long enough to reach. So we'll just do without that. There are bathhouses. I'm not gonna do that. We are camping with Mrs. P and our cat D'Artagnan. So the three of us are in for a couple good nights here in the Tallulah Gorge.
David does what David wants.
We're cooking up some roast ears and hot dogs. Roast ears are corn on the cob, but the Appalachian word for that is roast ears. So we have a kitchen inside, but we're trying to cook our corn on the cob right here on the fire pit. So it rained last night back at the house. All of our wood's pretty wet. You can see smoke everywhere. Man, but look at that sunset. All right, maybe we should just sit here and watch Mrs. P cook dinner. Good morning, campers. Well, we finished our first night in the Geo Pro G19FD. Overall, everything was good. The cat box situation back here worked out really well. Our cat D'Artagnan seemed happy with it. There are quite a few squirrels around here, and D'Artagnan likes looking out the windows at them, so we are not allowed to close the blinds on the windows. We were able to sleep all night without using the air conditioner. We did leave the maxi fan in the back on. It seemed more than adequate to keep the temperature about 68 to 70 degrees, something like that. We didn't connect to the water source or septic here, just electricity. I think we have plenty of onboard water and black and gray water storage for 2 nights, so why bother with that? But overall, everything went really well. Putting the Murphy bed up and down seemed like a chore at first, but it's not really that big of a deal. I think we're going to do away with the comforter. I don't think that's really necessary, and we're never going to leave the bed down when we're not sleeping, so might as well not have any extra stuff. I do want a better pillow though, and maybe keep a few other blankets around just in case it gets colder. So other than our extremely unlevel campsite, everything is going pretty well. We are going hiking this morning. We're going to do the Tallulah Gorge. It's about 1,000 something steps down and up the other side with a suspension bridge in the middle. This is the number 2 overlook at the Tallulah Gorge. Yeah, it's a long way down there. So they have these little rock outcroppings that you can go stand on. Luckily they do have some estate fencing along the edge. And we're pretty much straight down, probably about 400 feet maybe. I don't know, maybe a little higher. So the next step in our adventure is to go down the staircase, which is about 500 steps down and maybe 550 back up the other side. So the staircase is just kind of a whole bunch of meandering things. We don't know, but there's lots of warning signs apparently. So these are all the things you shouldn't do while you're down here. Swimming is prohibited, by the way. No pets allowed either. And persons with health problems should not attempt this climb. I sure hope Mrs. P makes it. So pretty much it's just an endless staircase going downhill. There's about 10 steps at a time and then a little flatness and 10 more steps and more flat. And then they'll throw in the random 3 steps to throw you off a little bit. But we're heading down towards the suspension bridge. At least I hope that's where we're headed to, because I don't think I want to turn around and go back up. And it's just the endless staircase going down. Sure is a pretty day out here though. Sun shining, it's cool. It's probably about 68 degrees in the breeze. Mrs. P's waiting for me. All right, we're about 358 stairs in so far. I'm guessing it's going to be about 5 something to the bottom, and that's where the suspension bridge will start. We haven't actually seen the bridge yet, so yeah, it's probably a little bit further down here. We have our first glance at the suspension bridge down here. I think we're getting close now. I've counted about 487 steps. Yeah, I'm just making it up. I haven't really been counting the steps at all. But since we're almost to the suspension bridge, that means halfway. All right, we are officially at the bottom of the hike. We're starting to cross the suspension bridge. All right, this is not a very bouncy suspension bridge. That's good. Looking over here on the left side, we're still about 100 feet above the water. There's Mrs. P back there coming across the bridge. And if we look here to the north side, or the upstream side, we can see the gorge behind us. And now we have to hike back up. Way up there, up the top, you can see there's a little overlook thing. Yeah, I'm ready for a snack. All right, we made it across the suspension bridge. And here's the step counts from where we're at. We can go 221 steps further down, and then we have to come back up. Yeah, 347 steps if we just want to go up. And it looks like if we go across the suspension bridge, it's 310 steps back the other way. We are definitely getting our steps in today. Now these steps are not like doing your Fitbit, walking around your living room saying, ooh, look, I got 2,000 steps in today. Walking from the couch to the microwave, maybe grabbing a beer at the fridge on the way back to the couch. No, these steps are pretty much 1 foot down every step. And we chose to take the extra 221 steps. We're going to the bottom of the gorge and see what's down here. Mrs. P is just leading the way. I told her it's safer if she goes first. In reality, she gets all the spider webs cleared for me, so I don't have to deal with it. All right, we've almost made our 221 steps down to the bottom of the gorge. So that's going to make it 580 steps so far going downhill. I am not looking forward to turning around going uphill. So this is the landing at the bottom of the gorge. It's kind of nice and peaceful looking, but it's filled with warning signs. Warning. 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 I'm guessing a lot of bad things could happen down here. Yeah, that's one of those spider webs I walked into. You don't really see the spider web until the spider like hooks on the back of your neck and starts crawling in around your ear. Then you know you messed up. All right, well, we made it to the bottom of the gorge. It's time to start heading back up.
I think it's beautiful.
This might be more fun than going downstairs. Probably shouldn't let Mrs. P catch me filming her butt on the way up the mountain.
What happened?
Well, we're about 764 steps into our hike. We're going back up now. I think I'm ready for a beverage. All right, we made it all the way back up. Oh, look. We should go buy a t-shirt. All right, we're at the last lookout at the top, looking back towards the suspension bridge. So here's the rim of the gorge up high. And there's the bridge we were on a little while ago, way down there in the bottom of the valley. There's a few really nice looking rocks overhanging the valley or the gorge, but they're off the trail. I don't think it's worth walking over there to take a look. There's a walking trail from the campground over to Tallulah Falls, where you can get to the staircase, the suspension bridge. You can access the north rim and the south rim of the gorge. And it's a nice little walk. Ever since we came in, we haven't had to start our car up and go anywhere. We've just been walking everywhere. So it's a good couple days out in the woods. All right, we made it back to the campsite. I'm thinking it's about lunchtime. So it's about 2:30. Time to get the campfire going. I think you always need to have a campfire when you're camping. I'm not sure what Mrs. P's doing in there. Day 2 of camping. We just had pancakes. Yeah, I didn't film it. I was too busy eating. Well, good morning. We survived 2 nights in the camper. Everything seems to be working just about the way you would expect. We did have one cabinet door underneath the stove where the corner cracked open. But I think that that's a common issue in these type of little tow behind campers. Nothing a couple clamps and some glue can't fix, but everything else was pretty well fully functional. It is about 52 degrees out here this morning, so I have my jacket on. But overall, I would recommend any other site besides Site 44 in this campground. I think if I was going to come back, we would go to campsite number 4 or campsite number 9. Those two seem to be the most peacefully located, no traffic noise, and just an overall good fit for the size camper we have. So today is move out day. We have to repack the camper, get it ready to travel. We do have to stop by the dump station on the way out. That's going to be a new experience on this camper. I haven't done that yet. And then it's about an hour drive home. So we'll be home probably by noon or so. I think checkout here is at noon, but we're not going to hang around too long. We're just going to finish up breakfast, get showered, cleaned up, pack the camper, and hit the road. Everything in the camper functioned as expected. No water leaks. Everything electrical seemed to work just fine. All the gas appliances, all the burners on the stove, the propane oven, the electric hot water heater works fine. We didn't test the propane hot water heater, but we'll do that some other time. But overall, good first camping trip. You guys get outside, do something fun, come back and tell me about it.